Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the fourth episode of the CJ Show here in 2020. I'm your host, Lawler, got alongside Jahzo, Chrome, and CJ, the man, the myth, the legend from OCE Down Under. But before we get into anything, first and foremost, obviously, if you guys want to stay up to date on all things the CJ Show, exclamation point social in the chat will pull up all the social medias. Make sure you follow those and like those immediately. And then hopefully Jahzo will be more obligated to put up the podcast on time each week.
Listen, my excuse is I tried to render the VOD about 5 different times. It was a 3-hour long render each time because it ended up being a 12 gig render for a two-hour video. So it's good now. I'm gonna upload it after the stream. I can't upload it now because it'll just tank the upload speed, but it'll be up.
So what you're saying is your render was also in maintenance mode, huh?
Yeah, a lot of Cynet disease going around, huh?
Yeah, I'm with you. I had that. You use Vegas too, right?
I do.
Yeah, been there. Know that feel. But yeah, if you guys didn't see, last week we had to end a little bit early because we had some server issue stuff going on in the Jahzo household. So we ended up doing a live Q&A off stream. So if you guys didn't get to see that, make sure you go check out the YouTube video for stuff that you may not have gotten to see live yet. Answering a lot of questions that you guys actually asked on the Twitter. So cool stuff there. But we're going to kick it off right away. Get straight into it. Today's going to be a pretty laid back show. Nothing too crazy. Just kind of open discussion about what we saw this weekend. Luckily, if you guys didn't, we did a very interesting viewing party impromptu on Sunday. That was a really good time. I highly recommend going and watching that. From whether CJ's perspective, my own, does not matter. It was pretty goofy, but the thing that we're all watching, if you guys didn't know, RLCS games finally happened. We actually got some matches on Saturday and Sunday. So kicking us off, Chrome, week 1. Honestly, I think Space Station looks like the best team in North America right now. Like, handedly. You guys look really damn good. Why do you think that is?
Thank you. I don't know. We just been grinding. It's hard to say, really. We've been working on what we've been thinking that we were like weak on, struggling on, and we really game planned really hard against Ghosts. Like what we wanted to do, what we know would work against them, and what we would expect from them to try to beat us. Made a few mistakes. They took a game because of it, but I felt very confident about our series for sure.
Kind of hurts in the gut when you said SSG is the best when we swept our match.
Who'd you guys play?
Rogue.
All right, I'll leave it at that.
With another butter and first killer.
I mean, they did not look good.
Against us? Wait till you see them next week. Watch. I mean, we're going to do predictions later probably. But they play Cloud9 next week?
Mm-hmm.
Wait for that match. We'll see. I don't think.
I don't know if beating Cloud9's like a huge thing right now, based on how they played last week.
Their play was absolutely disgusting, and not in the good way. On Saturday.
Yeah, I don't know. I talked about Rogue on my stream yesterday. Just someone said in chat like Rogue, they could be like insane. I'll be like, this is one of the scariest teams in the world, but I just don't see them ever being like that. Like I can see their highest ceiling being just like similar to Rogue in season 7, which I guess they got, top 4 at Worlds, but it's still, they just are never like one of the best teams in the world. I don't think they can enter that like Space Station, NRG, G2, even Ghost. I can't really see them just getting up to sort of that caliber. So yeah, I'm not really impressed with the Rogue so far. I think they need Kudovia or Wonder. They need to change.
I feel like I can agree with you there. Like I feel like they have like no discipline whatsoever. I feel like Crow and Wonder kind of play the similar roles in a sense. They both want to go for the same things. They both rotate similarly, and it throws everything off. It feels like First Killer really is like AJ. It's like the same old team.
Yeah.
They make the same mistakes.
It's weird. Like to me, both Ghost and Rogue feel the same, but are also very different stylistically. It's like there's almost no structure going in. It's just 3 players who are all pretty talented. Just there's no idea behind it. It's just we're gonna go play and we'll see what happens. There's no structure. There's no like organization behind it, and it just feels really weird. Like Ghost has so much talent, and I look at that team. I'm like, you guys could be really good, but I feel like Mist wants too much of the flashy, I'm gonna score all the goals kind of mentality. Like part of the reason why I think he left PK. So it feels awkward. I don't know. It just maybe in time that'll iron itself out, but I kind of with CJ, I just don't feel it. Like even if they do, it just doesn't feel like it's gonna be something that the top guys have to worry about. I don't know. I don't think a team should aim at fourth at best. I don't know. It just feels weird.
I mean, the counterpoint to that is they've been looking really good in Astros recently. They've won the past two. Ghost has.
I didn't catch the fourth one they just did, right?
Yeah.
Were Space Station, you guys beat Energy and then played Ghost, I think?
No.
And G2.
Well, yeah, they played us in semis,
Okay.
and
That's
then
it.
they played Ghost. Yeah.
Jahzo, why'd you guys lose?
A lot of little mini reasons, but I don't know. Our series with SSG was just really close. It went to all 7 in semis,
Nice.
which
Yeah,
is
I
all
didn't
we
get
could
to
really
watch,
hope for. I know, like, we had a sick player. I think SSG had a player that was a little detriment too, like just in health state. I'm not making up excuses for why SSG lost to Ghost, but getting the semis for us was all we could hope for. I didn't even expect to make it that far in an Astro, because Astro teams just kind of go all balls to wall and just don't care, or care a lot. So.
Yeah, any notable things or anything you guys are really happy about for week 1? I mean, I talked about it briefly last week about how I was excited for Flight. Like, I didn't think they were going to be a pushover, but I think you just see the difference between like the veteran experience and otherwise. Like, they were up 2-0 and they got reverse swept. Like, they almost had it.
I'm disconcerted with how weak both PK and Cloud9 looked. Like, of course, PK made the reverse sweep, but I'm not really enthusiastic about how they played.
I'm just happy we started off with a win for this season, and against a formidable foe and Ghost, because I feel like that team's going to be in the running for a top 4 finish.
I'd agree to
And
that.
to beat them, they're only going to get better this season. I feel they're a relatively new team, so I expect them to bounce back this week and have a close series against United.
Is that possibly why Rogue is the same situation? Like, that roster change happens so fast. Like, they've only had like
they don't have time. The practice.
yeah, like,
they don't have a coach either.
it's been a week, right? Like,
it's not been very long, that's for sure.
Yeah,
they literally had no time. Well, I guess
And then,
similar
like,
things to what Crumb said could be said for us too. Starting off on a win is good, even though we did that last season. But the mentality in the house is really good after that win.
I'm more so curious what happens if you guys have a loss, you know? Like, what's the mentality? How do you guys grow from it? Like, obviously people usually learn from losses more, but I don't know. The season's just so different. Like, even though it feels super rushed, the fact that you now have 8 weeks instead of 5, like in the past you guys would have two matches in 1 week, and there goes almost a third of your entire season, just like that. So having a couple extra weeks to like learn and try to figure some stuff out, I think is really, really exciting for just as a viewer to sit back and watch. It's like, okay, how are they going to do week in and week out? Because teams usually are trying to get hot by week 4, week 5, and then they get iced for a month before LAN, and they have to boot camp. But now you guys have an extra 3 weeks, and then LAN is literally like, what, 2 weeks after or something like that? Like, it goes quick. It's just different. It's such a different I just don't know if it's going to matter at all. Like, I honestly don't know if that's going to have an effect like I think it will.
I think there's a big trade-off that maybe people aren't considering. Is sure, you have more weeks to bounce back if you have a poor performance, but if you start off hot, the fact that you need to stay hot for 8 weeks rather than 5 could be something to consider.
Why is it? I correlate it to the whole OCE thing of like there was only one good team for super long until CJ came along, right? CJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. But I mean, for OG Alpha Sydney, they had no one to play against, and they had to remain at the top, and that's not easy to do. Like, when everybody's gunning for you, you're playing down to the level of all your competition. So how do you remain at the top? I think that same thing could be applied. I don't know if you guys agree with that.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of work for the season for all RLCS teams, that's for sure, to make sure they keep in form.
Without spoiling too much, then, I mean, we got 2 coaches here. What are you guys trying to do then?
I mean, personally,
Yeah,
what I like to
3
do-
coaches.
Oh,
3 coaches.
Oh yeah. I mean, you haven't called me coach yet, so I'm not used to it. Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, personally, I like with my teams, I always do the same thing. Like, I look towards the present, look towards the future. Just because we won, our match last week, it doesn't mean we'll win the next weekend's match. So we got to keep grinding and keep working hard. That's all you can do.
I
So
mean-
8 weeks, 10 weeks, it don't matter how many weeks. We're still going to be working hard and trying to make LAN and do better than we did last week or last weekend and last season.
I can resonate with that. It's always looking forward to the next match, to the next set of scrims. What can we improve on right now? Maybe take some notes from what happened in previous losses or where we think we can improve on. But it's always looking ahead, making sure you're practicing as much as you can, keeping your hours up, keeping the motivation high, making sure everybody's on the same page with what your team's trying to do, and that goes for teams without coaches as well.
Do you guys try to like set like short-term goals like versus long-term goals? Like, do you guys have like certain things that you want to accomplish like week to week? Like, you just said, hey, we're looking forward to the matchup, right? And there's things that we want to accomplish for this next game. But do you also focus on things like long-term? Like, hey, I want this player to improve on this one thing. We'll see how he improves on that over the course of 4 weeks instead of just week to week.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jahzo.
I was gonna say for us, it's that kind of improvement is reserved for preseason, because if
Okay.
you're going into the season and someone's having a specific issue, sure you need to get it fixed as soon as possible, but it's better to try to recognize those kinds of issues beforehand, so you can work on them. It's more like we're gonna scrim and I see some issues, and then I'm gonna see how they are right before the season starts. And if something more drastic needs to happen, then it'll happen.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same with Jahzo. Like short term, like whether it be communications or if we're messing up in a certain area, like definitely address it and be like, that's something we're gonna look towards our next script to work on. And long term, obviously, like last season or even the season before, my team, they were not good at scoring, and everyone made fun of them for that. So I made sure the guys worked on their shooting and worked on their accuracy and everything. Can't have those issues popping up in the future, so it's something that we definitely work towards in the future, and then bring it into the RLCS weekends.
It helps you guys both have like such talented rosters to work with too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you got Sypical, man. Like, that's gotta feel pretty fucking awesome.
He's a freak, man.
The fact that he has something doesn't feel good for me when Sypical's scoring on my team.
Yeah.
I mean, you got GNS of Chicago, like
Yeah.
Yeah, but you
Hey,
also
don't forget Rizzo,
Arsenal.
man. Rizzo's fucking
Rizzo's
crazy good
hitting
too, man.
bangers on the weekend.
Imagine
Rizzo
hearing
over
all three of your players in sequence going, "Oh my gosh, why is Arsenal chasing me?" Back to back, 5 seconds.
I mean, to be fair, we say the same thing about Rizzo. Rizzo chases us, and we're like, "Oh, what the hell is Rizzo doing?"
Yeah, if you couldn't tell, SSG and us are pretty even right now. I resonate like their playstyle with our playstyle currently, or maybe not playstyles all the time, but just level of play. I think Chrome's doing a really good job over there.
Yeah, Crow.
Yeah,
Let's go, baby.
But yeah, definitely, we definitely set goals. I mean, I always want to do better, and last season we started off 0-2. I do not want to start off 0-2, and that's something we brought to the first weekend. We wanted to start off with a win and bring that even more momentum going into the season.
What's gonna be really interesting for me is when the OCE season starts up and we can start hearing some of this stuff from CJ himself.
Yeah, I just get to watch for now, but we've got the gauntlet tomorrow night, which is like our I guess you could say our Astro in the terms of like all the best teams playing that. So that's our first tournament of the year, really, for the top
What,
teams. So that'll
what
be.
time is that all out? So people can watch? I know it's gonna be early
That's
for most,
I
but
think that starts at 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Time. What time's that for you, Lawler? You
2
know those.
a.m. 2 a.m.
2
Eastern
a.m. Yeah.
for Eastern,
Yeah.
Eastern. Good luck. If you're up late or you're a West Coast person,
or is it
you get
4
to
a.m.?
watch that.
Or
it
is it-
starts at 1 a.m. my time. That's 1 a.m. Central American.
Okay, so 2
It's
a.m.
late because I
Eastern.
casted one before, so
Me too. Or I've helped Yummy cast like 1v1s and stuff in the past, and I'm just like, dude, it's 4 a.m. and I'm drunk. Why am I here? Like, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm drunk. This is great.
What
And it was
teams?
Yeah,
just
we
see
get
him
that, and
Bias
then-
casting, yelling at each other. It was great.
What teams are we seeing tomorrow, CJ?
Most of the league play teams. So it's like a gauntlet format. So I think we're the first seed, so we're just in the grand final, if that makes sense. You know, you run the gauntlet
Mhm.
all the way up. So and then second seed is Cringe Society, so that's Troop A, Tall Spot Ocean, then Ground Zero third seed, and then yeah, it keeps filtering down. But I think there's like 6 league play teams playing in it out of the 8.
That's good.
And yeah, we're the last game. We play whoever wins the semi final.
So what are you guys gonna
So-
do while you wait? Like,
Hopefully
these-
scrim, yeah, because we only get
But-
one game and it could be like 4 games. You know, it's not.
Yeah.
It might not even be.
Well, what's
full
interesting
set,
for that
so-
is there's like no teams that you can really warm up because you have the chance of playing them all. Because I know with scheduling warm-ups for RLCS, it's really easy to pick a team that plays before you because you're not going to be playing
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe we just get one of the. I think there's like 2 league play teams that aren't in it, so hopefully we can scrim those guys.
Difficulty 2 is I don't think any of the teams that get eliminated are gonna want to scrim after either, which sucks.
Yeah, they're running be a couch potato after they lose. Probably.
Yeah.
Even though
But we
they
have
should
league play
definitely-
next weekend, so that's good.
That's exciting.
Starts
Man.
up, everyone will be able to see. Finally, we have league play.
Finally.
So about
Starting,
time.
starting kind of late relative to everybody else.
Yeah, I don't know how the fantasy and stuff works, but maybe there's just some OCE only weeks at the end. But,
I don't think they
or
have
they
South
just
America
leave
in
them out.
fantasy either.
Yeah. Maybe they'll leave it all out. Who knows? But yeah, they were OCE qualifiers. And I don't think there were many real upsets. So most of the teams got through. Just briefly, I know like Ground Zero got through. So that's Express, Jules, and Decker. And another team got through on the first day, which was like a bit of a surprise. It was like an Amphis, a few guys that people outside OCE won't know. And Cringe Society, they were the number 1 seed in the qualifiers. That's Trouvé Tours, Spidoge, and they went down to the lower bracket like pretty early on. They lost the best of 3 to another league play team, which is Mind Freak, I believe, or yeah, France Cosplay, which is Mind Freak. So that's like Requiem. You might know Requiem. He's been a sub for Chiefs in previous seasons. He was on Ground Zero last season. So they lost to him, and then they had to win like 7 games in a row in the lower bracket or something to qualify. So they did it the hard way, but they got through. And yeah, a few other teams from last season got through as well. But yeah, you'll find out next weekend. Stay tuned for that. OCE League play starts up. Yeah, we can't wait. Coach Lawler on board. We're ready.
Such an idiot, man. I can't even call you a dick because it's like it's just funny. Like the issue is like there's people who've been coming into my stream and be like, so you're actually coaching Renegades? I'm like, no, there's no announcement. Like, leave me alone. God.
I know everyone's saying like RNG Lawler when. That's all I get.
Yeah,
Really?
same thing all
So
the time.
funny.
And they're just like, "What's up, coach?" And I'm like, "I hate you. You're so bad."
Some coach.
How are the guys
I love
looking,
it.
Lawler?
Yeah, Lawler.
How's
how
it
the guys are
watching
looking? I don't
scrims
know.
at 150 ping?
Yeah, how are we looking?
For me, if I watch them, they're fine because there's that built-in delay. When you spectate now, there's a built-in delay on scrims. They implemented that like in season 2 late. I don't remember because you guys remember when we used to spectate EU
EU League
and
play
it was
bad,
just
yeah.
rubber banding on
Yeah.
every hit. They put it in a built-in delay for spectator, so that it didn't have that happen anymore server side. But that was a long time ago. Yeah, it
So
was,
you're saying I have an advantage in coaching because I can stand right behind my players and watch live?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, there's no delay. Like Yummy watches EU scrims and he doesn't get any delay.
Yeah, his
CJ,
delay's just up top. That's
Did you
all.
just troll with an announcement of an announcement that could actually not be an announcement of an announcement, but might actually be an announcement?
Yeah, someone said announcement tomorrow, so I thought I'd go along with it.
I was sick.
All right.
Definitely not happening tomorrow.
Announcement tomorrow. RNG Lawler. Didn't you just announcement right now? Like you didn't. You can't
Oh,
announce
sorry.
tomorrow. If you just.
It's the official announcement. Lawler.
That is the official
Yeah, no,
announcement.
official post. Official
Yo,
post tomorrow.
announcement tomorrow. It's right there.
Here's the announcement.
I mean, you're
tomorrow.
you're in the future. Maybe that's why you're mixed up, man. Your day.
It is
Yeah.
tomorrow for him versus
Well,
the
out
rest
of
of
whack.
us. We can definitely
Yeah,
see.
that's true.
You're an idiot. God damn it, CJ.
So yeah, that's OCE for you. But I guess
we want
should-
to talk EU. I mean, we
Yeah.
we talk more NA. I mean, the nice thing is so if you guys, like I said, didn't see it, me and CJ started doing a watch party together, and then you're like, you know what, screw it, let's just call the CJ Show Discord channel, and then people just continued to show up throughout the event. So, and
Is
it
that what
got-
happened? Because I just kind of woke up and
that's
it was...
literally what happened. Yeah, so you're just like, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna call everybody, maybe they'll show up, and then Chrome's like, what's up?
Chrome was in the chat, and so I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I'll get Chrome in here." And I was like, "Actually, I'm just gonna call the group, just see who shows up."
Yeah.
Well, then, yeah, I
Okay.
woke up, I saw the button, and then chat told me to get in, so I just joined. What a fun day,
Hell
too.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a
That's
fun
awesome.
stream. It was a really fun stream.
Enjoying
Be-
the frames memes.
Dude, if you guys haven't seen it, if you want to see some of it, either go look at like CJ's like clips. I'm sure you'll find some. Otherwise, I have a highlight video on my YouTube of like all the major moments that happened, and it's anywhere from us like trying to do a Snasky and Verge impression at once, or like us saying frames every time the stream buffers, or saying bang anytime TSM hits the ball. Just really
Those
Chrome's
guys are
Chrome's high pitch Remco. Just fucking
Remco. That was a
good.
fun day.
It was so good. Yeah, it was a good time. Highly recommend go watch
There's
that.
a channel. Check it out.
Wow, that's my old link too. Does it actually still link to
Just
that?
that's what comes up when I click on Lawler.
Really?
Yeah.
That one.
I'll just
dude.
link the
Oh, that's
video.
because it
Adam.
uses /user. That's why.
Oh, do you have a /c/Lawler? Or
Yeah,
something?
yeah. Because I have the vanity URL now. There you go. That's the actual
That
video.
didn't work when I did it. What the hell?
/C Lawler _RL. I'm pretty sure works.
Oh, underscore RL.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I
I
get it.
fun fact, I messaged Google and was like, "Hey, can I like have that URL? Because I can't change it to that." They're like, "No, it's unavailable because it's a common name." I'm like, "Okay, well, because no one else can have it, and I'm the only one requesting it, can I have it?" And they're like, "We don't know," and that's where it's at. So I'm waiting to get a response back from people who do have authority on that. So stupid.
Oh.
Same
Alright.
reason
Because
I
I've
can't
just
have.
got. I've got youtube.com/CJCNR underscore RL. Do I need to have like a C? How come it's like /C for you?
How many subs do you have?
Like, not many.
Not many.
Is it,
How many?
Is it more than 100?
I've got over 1,000.
Wow, weird flex, but okay. If you go to your advanced settings, you should be able to create like a vanity link where you like, instead of it doing a bunch of random character stuff, you can pick what it is.
No,
I
like
think-
mine's literally just like youtube.com/CJCJ underscore RL. Like it's not /C/CJCJ. It's just this. But I got that like from the start.
How did you
Oh yeah,
get that?
you can do that with mine too. youtube.com/Lawler _ RL.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Groovy.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, yeah,
That's
that
weird.
works.
Picking YouTube, man. I wish I
Alright, so
understood
do
it.
we want to recap a little bit?
Yeah, you.
Well, we start with NA, because we didn't really look at
We can
all
go
of them. We just sort of talked
chronologically.
about team. Yeah. Let's do
Do we
it.
have our predictions from last week? Like a list?
Get them up, baby. Side by side.
They're on the Twitter. Twitter.com/CJ show.
There you go. Alright, so I will pull up.
Oh yeah, here there. We had 3-1 PK. That went 3-2. Reverse sweep. 3-0 energy. That went 3-2. Shock looked great.
Can you bring up the actual scores, Jahzo?
Yeah, I can just. Yeah.
Or can you write over the top the actual scores in the middle?
Yeah, just don't mess with that perfect one.
Yeah, that was sick.
I mean, I can just like.
So we got them all right, except we thought C9 would beat EU, didn't we?
Yeah.
3-2.
C9 got
wasn't
3-0'd. Yeah.
it? Yeah. God damn it, C9.
We're gonna
I've lost all faith in C9 after that week, honestly. I cannot just I'm sort of skipping ahead to that game, but they have not changed.
They play Rogue week
really.
2, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they play Rogue, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a big match.
I feel like
That's
it'll
a
be a close
game 5.
series. I feel like it's a game 5 for sure.
Are we already making predictions?
No.
Not yet. We're skipping ahead.
yes.
We need to go back.
No, we're totally not doing that right now.
What are you talking about, Jahzo?
We said Rogue G2 is going to go to game 5.
How about that first series, though? What do we think about PK?
Terrible. They should not have won. That last game,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Flight should have
Was-
won 100%.
there was just that ball was like sitting on the goal line and just bouncing up and down, and they just didn't go in. They're so lucky.
Everything else we got right. We were pretty close on.
We got SSG's match exactly correct.
Yeah.
Was PK like, were they scrimming like what they showed on the weekend, or were they a lot worse than what you guys had seen? Because they didn't really, they looked pretty weak.
I will
compared
say
to old
we
PK.
didn't scrim them much because we didn't know which match we were going to play, if we were going to play Knights or Rogue, so we didn't scrim either team this week, so I can't tell you. Rob might know.
Whenever I scrim PK, I don't know. I would say this season they definitely are a lot better in scrims, but last season whenever we scrimmed them, they were pretty terrible, and then they'd play amazing on the day. So, in terms of like what they look like in scrims, they look definitely a lot better in scrims compared to when they played Flight. I was actually like surprised at what was happening with Flight. Flight was playing phenomenal, and they're a team that plays well in scrims too.
Hey man, it's your boy Memory. You called it out, man.
Yeah, they have like a strict game plan that they follow, and it's been working for them. Unfortunate for them, they couldn't pull the win out, but they had a strong showing in my opinion.
Yeah, I was happy with their
PK looked
performance.
all over. Yeah, a lot of double commits from PK and constant like hesitation as well. Like they're on the back foot the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna lose, at least make it go to 5, you know, for tiebreaker purposes. So
Reverse sweep too. We haven't talked about that.
yeah, I mean, I touched on it, but I don't know if it's just like, who do you guys feel was the problem on Flight? Like, I have my opinion on it, but
I feel like Seabass was starting off strong and then he kind of fell off towards the end of the series. I feel like Memory was kind of solid. He didn't really stand out too much, but he was just like, you know, he was the counterattack force, so he was keeping possession alive. He's doing really well in that aspect, especially on defense. He was strong, and then Rapid stepped up.
I didn't notice Rapid that much.
I mean, he didn't play that well in the first couple of games, but then he started playing a lot better towards the end.
yeah, it was I think Memory was consistent across the board. You don't have to be super impactful to be impactful. Like, you don't have to be flashy and showy. You can just do your job well and be consistent. And I think Memory did that. And Seabass, I think, started off hot. Like, Seabass came in, I'm like, you're playing with 2 players right now, and it's great. And then Rapid tried to take that approach as Seabass cooled down, but it just wasn't to the extent that Seabass was doing, and it just wasn't enough. And at that point, PK had warmed up and kind of got the jitters out, because Gyro started off bad. Like, the same thing he did last season. Last season when PK came out for the first week, it was just like, Gyro, what are you doing? But eventually he got over that in like game 3, and it started becoming a little bit cleaner, but I still wasn't impressed by PK. They looked flat.
I don't know that anyone was impressed by PK. Like you said, Gyro didn't start off that well, but I mean, you could say that about almost the entire team.
Reddles was the only one who was actually like, it felt like he was trying.
Yeah, Reddles played pretty well, I thought.
Yeah.
Like
He got a couple of nice goals.
Like Reddles was playing his role, you know.
So many attempts by AJ to go off the ceiling as well.
Yeah.
Didn't look like
Yeah,
AJ was taking it seriously.
He didn't look too comfortable in that rotation at all either. A lot of hesitation, not going for the ball, and then him and Gyro would double commit on the defensive end, and they get punished for it every time.
I thought Flight looked better than Sonics, to be honest, out of like those 2 teams. I know obviously Shock was really good, but they won one game where they didn't have a single shot from Turbo's own goal, and then like NRG didn't look that bad. I know everyone's saying like NRG's been slumping in scrims and stuff. I don't think they looked really that bad. Like the 3-2 looks a bit rough against, you know, probably the worst team or one of the worst teams in the league, but I thought that they looked pretty normal. They probably weren't executing as well in their defense, like obviously Turbo own goal and stuff like that, but I thought NRG looked alright, but I don't think Sonics looked as good as Flight, to be honest. Apart from Shock, who was obviously, you know, MVP performance from him.
Yeah, the 3-2 from Sonics, like actually being able to win 2 games, didn't give me much confidence for them in the future of the season, based on just the scoreline. At least, like differing from just the scoreline to actually how they played, they didn't give me much confidence. And I think the key around NRG is what Chrome said last week, was that they're beatable, not necessarily that they're playing poor, just that they're more beatable than they were before.
I think a lot of it is too, like they're just not scoring like the crazy goals that they're used to scoring, so they're kind of like a regular team now, but they're still so good that they're threatening. That's why the series is a lot closer than it should be. Like they dominated the shots, but they just could not finish at all. And that's the problem they had too in the Beyond when they played against Cloud9. They just could not finish, and then Cloud9 won that series.
Yeah, it felt super simple, very very slow compared to what we're used to. Usually they're like super aggressive, beat you at every ball, put shots on target that are always threatening, and it just didn't feel that way. But it was still enough to take the victory. And The fact that Sonic's got 2 off of them again is going to be a big thing, like it was for Flight. Those tiebreaker matches, like when Energy starts getting hot, and they 3-0, 3-1 everybody. Those 2 games could be the difference when it comes to those spots at the tail end. So, at least they got that for him. But other than Shock, I wasn't impressed. I always have my concerns about Sathu. He's been inconsistent in the RLCS, even when he played for SSG back in the day. So, like the attempts that he got on flicks were just like not good. And I know Sathu can hit some pretty nasty flicks. So,
Sathu is a player I think could use mechanical training. He has really good positioning and decision making. I just think he's at times either slow or inconsistent mechanically.
I just feel from my experiences whenever I competed against him or with him, like he's definitely the type of player who gets like really, really nervous, and he just does not perform to what you usually what you see from him. A lot of whiffs, like uncharacteristic stuff that you would never see in like scrims or anything. It's just like hard to rely on too, which is
Do
unfortunate.
you think that's his like comms? Because I know listening to him, I remember back at like Leipzig, I think it was when he was with Bread. Like his comms are, he almost like builds the game up, like the intensity up himself with the way he comms, you know, because he's, you know, I don't know, just constantly talking and he's like amping it up, and it just seems like he's like putting this pressure on himself when the game's probably not as intense or not going as probably fast as he's making it out in his head. I think that sort of leads to a lot of mechanical errors.
I mean, I would agree with you for like maybe last season because Sypical, or not last season, but 2 seasons ago with AXP and Sypical, because they didn't talk that much. And so he has to sacrifice his mechanics to comp for 3 people. But he's got Shock and Dapper. Those guys communicate. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it's something he needs to overcome.
I'll be curious to see how that one develops.
Yeah.
That'll be an interesting one. I mean, Cloud9, I echo with CJ. They got swept. They looked like poo. It was bad. Like I can't confidently predict them moving forward.
I mean, that's the thing with C9. Is something I noticed whenever I was coaching Energy after RLCS Season 6 and all that. And with SSG, like their team, if you can match their speed, they really can't do anything because they throw everything in the kitchen sink at your defense. And if they don't score, they get counterattacked. And there's something that they need to really, like, you know, have a sustained offense. And that's something they don't ever try. They just throw everything. Like Gimmick will cut rotation trying to go for a shot. And it's like, nowadays, everything's getting saved. You're not having players that are, you know, terrible mechanically defending. So you got to play solid on defense first. And if you're not doing that, then you're pretty much going to throw away the game.
That's fair. How do you guys feel about United? Was it just because they're playing Cloud9, or did they look like, my concern with the United's always been Roldiz, and I think he played pretty solid. Like he wasn't. It started off pretty solid, but all he had to do was start off to get the win. So I was pretty happy.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw United as just like a solid team, but I sort of talked about it yesterday. I think Space Station have like the foundation and they have the flashiness and ability to score cool goals, stuff like that. Ghost seem to just have like the X factor, but no foundation. And I always thought of the United as a team that has like a good structure, you know, a good foundation, but they don't really have anything to go to that next level.
You is NA's Veloce.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But in saying that, yesterday, or not yesterday, or a few days ago, on Saturday, that's the one. I was really impressed with Ajax. Obviously Hawks is a guy to look at, but Ajax I think he got the MVP for the weekend.
Yeah, he did.
MVP. Yeah, he popped off. Roldiz was just there, like just doing his bit, but he didn't really have to do anything because Ajax was, just popping. It was really good to see. So if he can sort of keep stepping it up, then they can I can see them pushing into that next sort of Ghost / and then getting up to like Space Station G2 sort of level, I guess. But they need to pop off like that every week to have that sort of,
I mean, Ajax, I mean, that's what he came into last season too. Like, everybody knew that they had their struggles, but now that Ajax has a season under his belt. Stupid mic. Stupid mic.
Oh gosh.
What's happening?
Like, what happened?
I heard a thud. I looked over the camera and I just
see me giving the finger to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, he's in his second season now, right? Like, I'm interested to see if he can keep that consistency level, if he can keep that pop-off level, because that's what they need. They need someone else to remove that threat from one guy. So I'm excited that that's how he starts off in his first game of the season. Like, and it's against a team that a lot of people still consider top 6. All the pros still consider them like high up. I don't know if that's going to change moving forward, but I'm happy with his performance. I think it's a good note for him to get the confidence behind him, and hopefully he can carry that week in and week out. Because the issue with E United has always been, it feels like it's always one guy and the other two are just kind of dragging by. And if you have two playing good at any given moment, like that's enough to at least keep it competitive. And then when Roldiz is on, or Ajax is on, or vice versa, like at least you're gonna get something in where they, at the same time, are still considered a massive underdog. And I don't think that's going to go away until they qualify for another LAN. And if they keep playing the way they are, super consistent, minimal mistakes, and just make sure that player, when he's feeling good that day, is fed the ball, like they could be another sneaking team. It's definitely possible, especially with all these other rosters trying to figure out what the hell they're doing.
It's interesting. I think he
Space
definitely
Station.
took advantage of a lackluster Cloud9 too.
Oh yeah,
Just overall.
Oh, terrible.
I mean, as well as like, there's a reason why we didn't pick United as well. Like talk about like the Gibbs power rankings or whatever, like the pro player power rankings. Like, whenever we were to scrim with United last season or this season, it's just like it's always like some of the worst practice ever. Like, it just seems like they don't really care as much. But like when it comes to match day, they just elevate so much. So it's like hard to rate them as a team. They're definitely a team I could see, fighting for a world championship spot because it could show up on match days. But like whenever you practice, it's hard to gauge where they're at. So it's not surprising to me to see them beat Cloud9 because Cloud9 really hasn't improved in my opinion.
Yeah. It's crazy because that same effect happened at LAN. Like all of us watching them at Madrid was just like, they're definitely the 4th seed. I don't know how I feel about it. And then it's like they come in, Roldiz playing hot, like they're competitive. Like, they didn't tilt. They they played their game on LAN, and I was just like, damn, I'm actually pretty happy for their performance. Like games were actually competitive. So
I think it too for Madrid, like they're just inexperienced on LAN. Is what bit them in the butt. So if they can, show up to another Worlds, they could probably, do well, in my opinion.
that's cool. Chrome, your team won convincingly. You guys look, in my opinion, the best team in North America by far.
Thank you.
Do you think that's because I mean, how did you feel playing Ghost?
We definitely were expecting a lot harder opponent from Ghost. Like we were expecting more offense from them. They just pretty much sat on defense, and that's something we wanted to put them on defense because we feel like we're faster. So our game plan was to pretty much force them on the back foot, outpace them, and out rotate them, and take all their boosts, and it worked out really well because they tend to, like, whenever they get on offense, they tend to really overcommit hard. So they pretty much fell into our game plan, and it's everything we expected, and it was pretty easy. I thought it was gonna be a lot tougher, in my opinion. Honestly, should have been a 3-0. But,
All right,
Calm down,
Squishy.
Calm down, Squishy. gonna get selling you at Greg's at the next LAN, man.
It's all right. They 4-1'd us yesterday.
Oh, was it a 4-1?
I think it was. I don't know. But hey, we got the most important dub, so who cares?
Well, the G2.
Huh? What about G2?
No, he's talking
Is
about
that
an
what you're
RLC. He got the
in
double
RLCS.
RLCS.
Oh,
he had the
The one that
RLCS.
actually matters. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I don't want to make excuses for yesterday. They played better than us. That's it. Good for them.
Okay.
Good for them. Playing well on a Monday.
You
On a
don't
day
care
that you
'cause
never play ever
you
again.
on the weekend.
Except for Astros.
It's not something we're going to be upset about. It's just practice at the end of the day, so who cares? It's like another scrim for us.
The only
We
time
just happen to make money for it.
I'm ever upset about an Astros is if you get out first or second round.
Yeah, then you have nothing to do for the night.
Did they still? We'll talk. Let's finish this before we go into Astro because I hear they messed seating again. So.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh jeez. All right. 3-0 G2 Jahzo, speak to me.
Utter dominance. And it's a completely different kind of dominance than you might be thinking of with relating G2 to dominance, which is going back to season 7. There was a lot of control of the game where we were just controlling Rogue and not worrying about getting a super high lead like you might expect from a flashy Cloud9 back in the day, or an on-fire typical Arsenal combo from SSG. There was a lot of just controlling Rogue and making sure they couldn't do much. Just playing solid, not making mistakes, waiting for them to make mistakes. Whether that's a byproduct of how we're playing or if it was intentional, I won't say.
Felt very relaxed.
Yeah.
Felt like you guys were just playing your game. You didn't feel under pressure, like you guys were just doing you, which is really hard to accomplish nowadays.
Well, that's the biggest thing is in scrims, that's like your most comfortable way to play. And Chrome's always talked about how G2 is a scrim team, and sometimes most times you don't see the G2 from scrims in RLCS. So it's transitioning, your scrim play into your actual competitive play, which is what's important. We might not have been as flashy as our scrim play, but we definitely try to go for control nowadays, and that showed it against Rogue.
Lethmere in chat says, I think JNAPS had one goal in mind, and it was to make that tweet.
The other thing is, some people won't like me saying this and putting it in light, but Jake really doesn't want to lose to Kronovi.
I mean, that's a given. I don't think anyone really wants to lose to their old teammates, to be fair. It's
That's the reason why
just
we always
like
brought it up on the desk, man. It's the easiest storyline, and it's the most true. No one wants to lose to their old team or former team or anything like that, ever.
Expose me. See, Jake's in chat, but Rizzo exposed him live on the RLCS broadcast already, so
Yeah, yeah.
in the post-game interview.
I mean, you can't tell me you want to lose to your old team.
No, I mean, you don't want to lose your old team, but I think it's, like, significant
That sh-
for him. And, like,
That
all
should
the
be
Twitter
extra
beef
fire
we
under
see.
someone's butt.
Yeah. Yeah, all the beef between Crow's dad and JNS on Twitter is pretty funny. The instant tweet from Jake after we won the series on Saturday was banging.
I totally forgot about
That's
that
pretty
beef
good.
too, and then I saw that too. I was like, "Oh, that's great, love it."
Yeah, it's I go both ways on it. Like, obviously, I'm one of the old man people from the scene, so I look at it both ways. Like, to me, it's like somewhat petty, but at the same time, it's like, you know what, fuck it, twist the knife, dude. Like, give us some drama, give us something to talk about. Like, I go both ways on it. I wish Sonics would allow them to talk more about that kind of stuff on broadcast, because I think it's a great talking piece. It adds more drama to the matches, and it gets people more tied into it, especially when they know that other stuff's on the line too. Like, oh, who's gonna send the tweet after the match? Let's find out. You know, like,
They used to
I love
have
that stuff.
highlights of post-game tweets.
yeah, they do every once in a while where they'll throw them in the LED wall and be like, yo, this is how he feels after the match and stuff. And they still do, but they obviously will always stay away from any drama-based stuff like that. Like, they will always go away from it, and we couldn't mention it either.
Interesting.
Just because it doesn't look good for a E for Everyone broadcast, even though I think is ironic, because it feels like they want to get to the like NBA on TNT kind of show where like it's Shaq and the guys just shooting the shit and being a bunch of idiots, because it's super entertaining. And they talk about that drama stuff all the time because they've got big personalities they're covering, and it's like that drama is great. It makes for a good show. So I hate that they don't do that, but I go both ways on it. It does look kind of petty, but at the same time, like, if you got that grudge and you want to twist the knife, like, do it, man. I ain't gonna stop you. I'm just gonna sit back and eat my popcorn and watch.
I just think it's great. Who cares? Why is everything gotta be so serious?
Yeah.
Well, act professional.
Well,
Yada,
it's
yada,
it's
yada. Who
supposed to
cares?
be our job.
I mean,
Rob.
Chrome,
Who
you've changed a
cares?
lot in your professionalism in the
Who
past 6 months.
cares?
So you used to have the biggest mouth, and now I don't even see you tweet at all. So
Yeah, what happened? What happened to the?
Because literally
the Chrome
everyone's rebuttal is
loudmouth?
going to be like, "Wow, you're a coach." Like that's literally everyone's rebuttal is. So it's like, what's the point? Anymore?
So you're supposed to beef with other coaches, you dummy head.
yeah.
Why would I beef with other coaches? I'm the
Start
best.
yelling at Jahzo. Start it now.
I have no reason to
Chrome,
beef
hit him
with
with
other
it.
coaches.
Chrome,
I'm
we've
the
always
best.
butt heads. Except right now, I think we both agree we're pretty even. I remember all last year
Start
on the
some drama
CJ
here.
show.
He just keeps calling me a coach. Fuck, you guys should start some with each other.
Start some beef.
Yeah, do it.
I mean, all I have to say is the person above me on the broadcast looks like Quagmire.
Oh my,
Ooh.
that's a personal attack.
Well, it's also it's a
rude.
throwback. Chrome knows what I'm talking
It's
about
all
too.
good. It's all good.
It's all, it's
Nothing,
all
you got nothing for that? You got nothing? You're just gonna
See,
keep
this is the
that?
problem.
It's an old one. There's no
It's-
rebuttal for that. It's an old joke. It's an old meme. So it's like not even worth responding to. I have
Well,
typical. How can anyone compete? Facts. I have typical. It's over for everyone.
Also, the Chrome and I beef is all settled on the pitch, and we still haven't had our onstage worlds showdown yet.
I know. I wanted that.
Mm.
I wanted it in season 7, but then Energy had to lose to Vitality. I wanted season 8, but G2 shit the bed.
Yep.
Maybe we'll get it this season.
One day.
The problem with trying to get beef out of Chrome and I is like we'll butt heads on some topics, but at the end of the day, I've known Chrome for a long time, and we're
How,
just kind of like
how far do you guys go back? It's like 5th grade or some shit. Like,
Season 1.
no, that's Crow.
5th grade.
I've gone back with Chrome since before RLCS even started.
Was it before RLCS?
Yeah, it was Vandal TeamSpeak.
Oh, I keep hearing Crow,
Yeah.
not Chrome.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I just know Jahzo as Jacobra as Kronovi's roommate. That's all I knew him
Yeah.
by.
Yep, that was back when I was just a
Playing
roommate.
Boomer Mode every once in a while was fun.
Yeah.
Good times. Now we're old.
Times.
Cobra.
You're old.
Oh God, shut up, you guys.
Chakobra.
so old.
She is.
Cobra.
What a name. Nobody publicly knows Chakobra. It's all like private stuff.
But yeah, I love the beef, man. It's great. At the end of the day, it's nothing's personal.
I mean, even though the people that are like mad at Reddles for like being as aggressive he is, it's like if he's wrong, he's wrong. He's got to deal with it. But at least he's being like somewhat forward about it. You know?
He's just a 12-year-old farming impressions. He wants retweets. He wants followers. That's all he cares about. He wants people talking about him. That's why he talks on Reddit all the time. He's like Classics Junior. So it's pretty. You can't really take anything he says seriously. Who cares?
Tell us how you really feel. Fuck.
It's true. I mean, I'm not lying. It's true.
You get Moopy X Chrome beef.
I mean, I talk to Reddles all the time, and he's always talking about how many likes he got on his tweet. So it's
Cloud
proof in
chaser.
itself. Whatever.
Yeah,
It's more
Reddles'
attention to the scene. It's fun.
comebacks didn't go too well on Saturday.
Got slaughtered by Carlos. That was great.
Dude, that was
Oh, dude.
the
it was so
Carlos
funny.
Rizzo tag team.
Dude, Rizzo's just like just buy his entire org. I was like, oh shit, like that one was really good.
You can't talk when you lose the flight. Like, they should have lost.
Yeah,
But they didn't.
but they should have.
But they didn't.
So you can put him in the ground this next week, Jahzo.
Yeah, I guess we do have them coming up. Speaking of upcoming matches, we want to blast through this EU recap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
all
we
watched
could
it
just quickly predict NA and then go on EU.
I guess we could predict NA while I'm on this
For week 2?
screen.
Yeah,
For
we
week
2
2.
NA while we've
shit.
just finished off. Let's do it.
SSG, Susquehanna Sonics.
3-0 SSG.
Agreed. flat
Happy. Done.
out. Do we want to give any elaboration?
SSG's the best team in NA right now. IMO.
You keep saying that. But then
Oh,
the only
that's
team
all I
that
was
got a
saying
win on
yesterday.
Saturday at Lawler.
I'm just
No,
looking
no,
at
look,
how they played versus how you played, and I still take SSG.
Yeah, I don't really talk about the G2, but I thought you guys looked alright. But in game 3, you guys should have lost. It took Rogue, or every single person on Rogue, to literally shit the bed in 0 seconds for you guys to score. Like, they all stuffed up.
We also had plenty
Hey.
of opportunities to score that game. You can say
But you
either. You
didn't.
can say either way. Like they had plenty of opportunities to not get scored on. We had plenty of opportunities to actually score.
But you
It
were
go- it
2-0
goes both
down with
ways.
like 30 seconds left.
It's also
it was
their
a pretty
fault
hard-
for. I mean, not
Yeah.
their fault. It's like combination. We capitalized on their mistakes for getting 2 goals in 30 seconds. I mean, the 0
Yeah, but
second
you
goal
also,
was
you're playing from behind. Like the fact that it was that close of a series due to mistakes and stuff is why I'm not as confident. Like SSG looked dominant the entire series. Other
Like
than
the
game they
goals you
lost,
let
obviously.
in game 3 was like Rizzo had heaps of time and he went for a backwater read and whiffed it, and then Chicago came through and whiffed it as well. And it seemed like there was no comms or something because literally there was not a single road play in that half of the field, and for some reason Rizzo jumped for a backboard hit and like panicked and missed it, and then Chicago tried to block someone and they missed it as well.
Alright.
I don't know.
Anyway,
it wasn't as
SSG.
convincing as
SSG Sonics. Let's focus on that match. Anybody gonna
Alright.
disagree? 3-0.
I will say this:
Happy.
it was nice to see from our team, my perspective as well, because like people were saying also like drama stuff, like oh we're nothing without Typical, this and that. Like he pretty much didn't really have to do anything. Like XP and Arsenal are popping off,
Yeah,
Everyone's
XP
just,
played
shut
really
up.
well.
so it's like that's good for us. And if all 3 of us are playing well, and someone just happens to pop off, then we're feeling good about our matches.
I don't know. I like Space Station that. I think they'll have a fun match. I think there's a lot of things you guys can exploit on Sonics.
I agree.
Shoff can't play that well every week, surely. So
Yeah. And even if he does, I don't think it's gonna matter. Arsenal's gonna be sniffing his butthole the whole time.
true.
All right, 3-0 done. E United goes. What do we got? This could be close.
This could be close.
Based on how
3-2
United played, I have
Ghost.
3-2 Ghost.
3-2 Ghost.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
United show up on match days, but Ghost I feel is looking pretty good lately.
I think Ghost is the stronger team, but United show up when you doubt them.
I'm just worried because like you get such good performances from Ghost and Astros, but then they just don't show it in RLCS so far. And obviously we're only basing it on one match, but
they need to find ways to utilize Elution better, and when they do, they'll be a really dominant team. Because like
yeah.
it just seems like they always try to cut rotation to go for a ball and creep up too far for a play, but it's just like they're out of position most of the time.
Illusion to me is most of the time like he's just playing catch up and just dumping the
Yeah,
ball somewhere else because
exactly.
everybody else is out of rotation. That ball will land like in front of their net, like top of the box, and he'll just yeet it to the other corner and just throw possession because he has to because his two teammates double commit.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I know it has to be close. Like it's definitely gonna be a 3-2. I think I could really go either way though.
I could see United winning, but I'm
Yeah.
confident in Ghost pulling it out.
Yeah, I'll agree with you guys. 3-2 Ghost.
Locking it in.
That's fair.
United is definitely up 2-0 match wise from last season. I feel like that'd be a potential land matchup, qualification match. You never know.
EU
Again,
Ghost.
yeah.
Yeah,
This could be a
that could be a battle for fourth.
Yeah, it's gonna be a third versus fourth seed. Well, it could be the loser of the third, fourth versus the winner of fifth, sixth, or something.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think both of those teams will probably find themselves at the tail end of playoffs at worst.
Land qualification match. That would be hype between these two teams, to be honest.
Yeah. Ghost falls short fifth again.
United qualifies again, even though everybody doubts them in McLean. That would be interesting.
I think that's one of their biggest assets. The fact that everybody doubts them. They don't have that pressure on them.
It might happen with Veloce again too. People doubting United.
Let's
and
hope not,
Veloce.
man.
Rogue vs Cloud9 though.
So, do you guys feel Rogue can match the pace of Cloud9?
I think Cloud9 wins.
Yeah.
I think Cloud9 wins, but I don't think it's convincing.
I think
Alright.
3-2 Cloud9.
Same.
I was gonna say Rogue.
Really?
Yeah. I'm just really, I don't know. Cloud9 don't know how to keep pressure. They're so all in, and then
They're both the
I
same
think
in that
it's-
aspect too.
Well, they do. They just don't. They could pass it to Torment, who's sitting middle of the field waiting for a shot, and Gimmick decides to blast a corner instead. Like
I mean, there's
I
so
don't
many times in the EU series for Cloud9 where they were just giving up possession. They didn't look like they were on the same page with the micro play. Cloud9 at least.
so why do you
just got
still pick them?
outpaced.
So why do you still pick them over Rogue?
I think Rogue has a greater lack of direction. I think
Yeah.
But earlier you said that Rogue looks better than people think, and the reason why they lost was because of who they were playing.
true.
Is that just you being biased towards your own team, or is that because you actually believe it?
It's because I actually believe it.
So why are you picking them over Cloud9, who looks like poo?
Because I've seen Cloud9 come back from greater deficits. I think it's going to be close. I think Rogue can pull out the win, but I don't know. I think at some point Cloud9 is going to realize that there's a step back they can take in their ideology that will blast them forward in performance. And I don't think that it happened in week one. I'm waiting to see when it's going to happen, but that's my philosophy. That's why I said that I believe they can get top 4 instead of 6 from the pro power rankings that we did. That will show up in the VOD on the YouTube. But
Do you think there's going to be a shift due to it being past, like, first week jitters are finally gone? Hopefully, like, you think we're going to see better performances because of that from, like the rookie in First Killer, or I don't know. This one's actually pretty tough to pick.
no, yeah,
I
this
feel like
one's
there'll
super
be-
tricky.
Yeah, I feel like there'll be no defense from both teams. In my opinion, I feel like it'll just be 2 offensive showings, and then one team will just eventually win.
I would go with Cloud9 because I trust Cloud9's offense more than Rogue's right now.
the way I look at it is just you've got one team who's been together forever and they didn't show up week one. Like, how do I trust them to sort of show up week 2? Like, it's not like, I don't think they're going to move mountains this week. But you have Rogue, who first killed his first RLCS match last week, and a new team. I think they're like way more open to improvement. So if I look at two shit teams, I'm going to lean to the one that, looks like they can at least get better. Whereas the other team has had, 3 months or, nearly a year, I guess, because the last season as well, to fix a play style that doesn't look like they've fixed yet. So I'd lean towards Rogue, but I think it's close.
I think Rogue can get better faster, but I think Cloud9 has the higher chance of getting better. Which is why I'm leaning towards Cloud9 over Rogue.
Okay.
I think we're split 50. I'd probably go. I want to go Rogue, but I also totally agree with why you're saying Cloud9. Do we want to just flip a coin? Leave it up to the fate?
Wait, so Chrome, what were you saying?
I mean, I don't know. Rogue is like super insane in scrims because they play super aggressive, but they're like prone to counterattacks, and I feel like if Cloud9 can hold it down, I guess I don't know, because like when I think of like last season, I think of like Crow and AJ like challenging hard in the corner and catching Cloud9 off guard, but I don't know. I feel like Cloud9 is definitely gonna do replay analysis on what they did wrong and fix it, because it's just one small thing that I noticed that they've yet to fix, and hopefully they can bounce back. And I honestly think they're gonna win. I don't know. I'm not doubting Cloud9 just yet. I would say after this week, if they lose, then yeah, I have them bottom 7 or bottom 3, bottom 4, whatever.
Oh yeah, if Cloud9 lose this week, they're not placing where I said they would. They'll be placing lower.
This is a big match because it's gonna be two teams that I figure will be like 7th, 8th at the end of the season. Like this is gonna be a match that could determine easily like playoff tiebreaker. Like you win this match and it may come down to later in the season, like you're 6th place now because of it.
And there's a reason I'm not choosing Rogue too, because they're a new team just like Ghost. They still got to find their footing.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you guys the veteran nod. I'll go Cloud9, 3-2.
I'm happy to go Cloud9. Let's do it. Let's move on.
I'm fully willing to eat my words and have Rogue win. But
I honestly, either one of those teams go in.
Yeah.
Let's just go. Let's go C9. Let's trust the experience.
Give them the veteran nod.
Yeah. NRG flight. What we got?
Energy. I
3-1
can't.
Energy.
I can't pick against Energy. Probably 3-1.
yeah.
Giving them a
3-0
game.
doesn't matter.
Flight.
Yeah, I give him Flight a game.
I like what I saw from Flight, but it's still lack of experience, and they're a new team as well. So
I don't think Flight will be able to keep up their performance against Knights.
they would have to pop off if they wanted, in that series.
Yeah,
Energy's
they would
just
have.
too solid.
Yeah.
You got Justin and Turbo own goalie, and they still beat Sonic.
Hey man, I still think that first own goal from Turbo was a sign. I think he did it on purpose.
Get out of the way. So he doesn't later.
Yeah,
CJ,
3-1 Energy.
Yeah. 3-1. Let's do it. I'm happy with that.
God damn it.
I'd
Ride it
say
in, boy.
The last one for G2, I'd say 3-1. G2.
I can't speak about this one.
Yeah, I'm happy to give Knights a game. I think G2 again could improve again off last week. I thought they were pretty solid. I thought Rizzo. I was really impressed with Rizzo. I thought he played really well. Yeah, I can see them playing well. I think G2, like, depending on who they play, can like step up or, just coast along a little bit.
Yeah,
So I think they'll step up though.
I don't think PK is as threatening as they were. I think they're still trying to find their footing.
If this was the old PK, I would definitely have the nod in their favor. But like this PK, they start off so slow. So I expect them to lose game 1 and then G2 rise with momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I think you'll get G2 wins game 1, game 2. They'll lose game 3, and then they'll win game 4.
Like I had PK make a top 4, but it's like if they don't show up this weekend, I feel like Ghost is probably going to take that 4th spot from them.
Yeah. Or even the United, man.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I think 3-1 G2. I'm happy with how they're approaching the game right now. That comfort level that we were talking about, like it's nothing flashy, it's nothing like in your face like their offense used to be, and I'm actually okay with that. I think the baseline is really good, but there's definitely still some mistakes that are very noticeable that CJ was pointing out earlier. So I think because of that, there's like they haven't played perfect yet because no one does. So I think they can show some bleeding in like one match, but I definitely think G2's the better team. I think G2's like a top 3 right now.
Am I locking it in?
I got 3-1 G2.
Yeah, same.
CJ?
Happy 3-1.
Happy, heard it here.
Jahzo, are you happy about that?
I can't comment.
I feel like PK is just trying to utilize their old
Confirmed
play
here.
style,
Jahzo doesn't want his team to win.
but it's not going to work for them. I think they need to find something new. I hope it works. Because that showing against Flight was abysmal, in my opinion.
Yeah. Agreed. Over to you.
Yep.
Yes,
Just getting
sir.
a
Let's
little
do it.
Jahzo real quick for the Twitters. Sorry, stream. Didn't hear that. It's a little.
Jahzo.
Hmm.
I
I don't know about that one.
I tried. It didn't work.
Let me get the Jahzo real quick.
Yeah.
For the Twitter.
Let me post the Jahzo to Twitter.
Oh god.
As long as you don't take a Jahzo on Twitter, that's all that matters. Although that'd be good content.
But yeah, typical EU. They look terrible online, and what's gonna happen is they're gonna be good on land. It's gonna suck.
So
I hate EU.
quick recap
How did
of the week one.
yeah, quick TLDR of week 1. So I think Rec looked pretty solid. I think we all mentioned like, yeah, land didn't look good, but they're kind of forgotten about. I think everybody kind of underrates them again, so I think that's where they belong. Singularity was not impressive to me. I think Rec played clean, nothing too crazy, but
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it too. I feel like Singularity, like they play to level their opponent, but they're a team that struggles to excel over that. So they're gonna keep up with everyone, but I don't see them winning anything really.
yeah, I think that's across the board for all the new guys coming in. Singularity, Endpoint, and Monaco. Like they have potential,
Yeah.
they can look good, but then they just let in goals that they shouldn't.
Yeah, that's the big thing. They just let him 3 goals. They're like up to that level. They'll give away 1, 2, 3 free goals in a series, and that's enough to lose.
Yeah.
Monaco especially.
So the only one we got wrong was
Chat's got some questions too, but those are pretty big discussion points. Remember that much, and we'll get back to it at the end of the stream. It's a good question though.
So the only
That is
prediction we got
really
wrong
good.
was the Barcelona Veloce series, right?
Did we?
Or did we just
Yeah, that was
flip
game
a
for
coin and hope
wrong
for the
way.
best?
Yep. Devo, thumbs up to that boy. I think he played really well in that series.
Yeah. Devon offense is scary, man. I've said
Yeah.
it for a while.
You got to see him go for some of those dribbles you were talking about, Chrome. Super
Yeah,
happy to see that.
Dude's a freak.
Yep.
Yeah. So we went.
Still barely won though, which scares me.
Well, we can't discredit Veloce, man. They're a land team. They played really well last season on league play. I think they kind of got found out, and they're trying this new play style, but they're just super inconsistent with it. They try to, take it slow, but then they were just
don't
getting
need to
back.
pull the clip of you trashing them and then having them bump into each other on that rotation?
Yeah, but I'm just saying their new play style. They're trying this new play style. Looks like on defense, where they're trying to take it slow, and it just looks abysmal. Like they don't know what they want to do, and then there's no following their touches at all. Weird. A lot of
So scary.
hesitation.
TSM Dig. We all rooted pretty hard for new TSM, and I'm actually pretty happy with new TSM. I think it's a really good first match for them.
Hell yeah. TSM came
They
out.
look
They looked
competitive.
a little rough in game 1. They gave up a really good team play. Well, I guess Dig got the team play off, but
Yeah.
past that, TSM had a really good showing in my eyes.
I mean, it's to be expected with TSM. They're going to be a team that struggles to score, and that's what kind of happened. And then Astro is just going to break the defense and set up his team. Even if his team didn't look too hot, they still came out and got the dub. That's all that matters, right? So
Yeah, Magnus hit that nutty double at the very last second of the last match, and it was too little, too late, but it was sick.
yeah,
Which I was happy to see. Like, I had a lot of concerns about Magnus. Is he gonna be able to apply that offense still? And he hit some pretty nasty shots off a team play to end it. So I was like, all right, sick. But I think for a first showing for TSM, I'm happy. Vitality, Alpha pretty much didn't play, and they still won 3-1.
it's true.
Can you guys fill me in on Monaco? I actually didn't get to watch the rest of that because I had to leave early.
Monaco pretty much controlled the whole pace and everything. Mouse didn't really look too hot. They're super hesitant. Speed isn't messing up a lot. They didn't know how to, go about the rotation, and then a lot of defensive mistakes from Monaco. Like the last game, especially, was like they pretty much just got really bad touches, like own goaling and stuff like that. Tigre got costed like 2 goals. Extra got a bad touch that pinched towards his net. Like it was unlucky. and Mouse just like pretty much counterattacked them after that.
Mouse didn't look very good. Like, oh no, they didn't look bad. They just, you know, everyone was hyping Mouse up, and I was hyping Mouse up, I guess. And I wanted to see this like super team from EU, you know, become the #1 team in the region. But they're obviously open to improvement. They're still a new team, and I think they obviously will improve off this. But this game, Monaco gave them the win. I mean, Scrub had 3.5 saves per game or something. He's got the most saves in the region after week 1. I think he had 3.5. Yeah, 3.5 saves a game. Those guys were just sitting on defense, and then Monaco eventually would just give them a goal. Pretty much. Rinse, repeat the whole series.
In the one game I watched like all of game 1 and then like parts of game 2, and that's when you started to see the Tigre effect. And like when he was leading the charge on offense, I know Chrome and I were talking about it during the watch party. I was like, hell yeah, man! Like Tigre is leading the charge. He's creating some opportunities, and they looked pretty dominant in game 1. Like they looked really good, and then he was forced back on defense and just uncharacteristic whiffs and just free goals that we guys were talking about giving away. So it's kind of frustrating to see because like they are the most RLCS looking team that is promoted through, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's just depressing to watch too. Like the pressure they have on offense is phenomenal, but they just do not know how to position as third man at all. So they're just like flopping around the whole time, and it sucks. But Mouse, like to their defense, like the month turnaround of the offseason where no one was expecting to have RLCS that close, and you're making a roster change that fast, it's going to be hard to impress, in my opinion. Like same thing with Vitality. Like Alpha looked miserable.
He just he literally tweeted it's the worst series of RLCS he's ever played. And I agree. He just wasn't there. They 2v3'd endpoint.
Like Mouse, like they didn't look that bad. Like they just coordination just needs to be worked on. Scrub looked kind of comfortable in a sense of like how he's supposed to play in a team, but it's just coordination. That's all it is. And they're just getting bombarded by Monaco.
Scrub looked comfortable on defense in my eyes, but then every single time you like try to send the ball forward, I sensed a lack of connection.
Yeah,
in transition.
That's something you can work on. It's not that big.
I am confident in the fact that they have a good foundation for defense, though. Like Scrub looks so on fire with how well he was able to lock down the line. Like his stats show for it, right? We were just talking about 3.5 saves a game, but aside from just the saves, he had pretty solid defensive challenges, goal line saves.
He looked comfortable, didn't he?
Mouse. We do have Mouse's coach in chat. Lethmir's in chat, and he says, we felt slow in comms in the first game, and then we started to finally control the paces in games 2 through 4, which makes sense because it did tilt in your favor, and that speed has been working through showing up before game 3, which is good because he actually put in like 70+ hours in the past 2 weeks, so he's starting to play again, which is good. But for him, I don't think he really feels it. He feels this, whether he plays 15 hours in 2 weeks or 70, he's gonna play the same way in his opinion. So I'm glad to see that, even after a loss in game 1, they don't feel down. They don't have to reverse sweep. I think that's the biggest note for me, is they don't have to go the distance. They can actually close it out 3 in a row and be done. So, but that's 3 OTs, man. 50 seconds, minute 27, and 3:32. Those are all 1-goal games until the last game where they get 2 up. It could be a really close series either way.
Quick note.
And it's not a bad game plan. Like if you know Monaco's coming in fresh, first season RLCS, you take them to OT, they're gonna feel the pressure. You've got some experienced guys on your team, and they literally just folded. Like they just waited for Monaco to crumble, and then they scored.
Yeah.
Quick note,
What
real
if that's
quick.
part of the game plan? Yeah, go ahead.
I'm seeing stuff in chat about stream quality. We can't stream anything other than 1080p at the moment because we are not affiliate. We are trying to get affiliate status, and then it will be fixed so you can watch in any quality. Just want to get that in there real quick. Kind of off topic. I apologize, but
Watch and support the stream. !social.
There you go.
Help us help you.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother.
Jahzo, you were pretty quiet during most of that because you're doing production stuff. Is there any major notes you want to take on EU?
I wish
any like last statements?
I mean, I just wish Barca wasn't as close, and I really wanted TSM to win.
Yeah,
those are like my main 2 takeaways. Aside from all the specifics we were just discussing, my main 2 takeaways are: I wish Barca was stronger, and I want TSM to keep improving. Because
how do you guys feel about the Flake situation? Because that was a cockroach
He's
scarab,
weird, isn't he?
and
He's weird.
I think
He passed. He
it's-
passed. I was happy to see that. Like,
it's weird, but I'm glad that he's trying to show that cars don't matter as much as the stigma puts it to. Like, people really gave him a lot of flack last season in promos when he did that, trying
The
to fight for his
Merc or what it
RLCS
was.
spot. But I mean,
yeah.
one of the big points of his stream has always been, yeah, I can win these 1v1s, these 2v2s in any car. You tell me a car, I'll play Ripper for a few games. Oh, you want me to play Merc, play Proteus? I'll play any of those, and I'll still like win. I'll still give you feedback on where I could have played better. It's not the car's fault; it's my fault.
I
Depends
just
on the
don't,
person.
I don't like anything he has to say. Everything he says to me is bullshit because like I like him as a person, right? But like last season especially, like he basically would say like, yeah, I don't need to warm up for any of my matches. I just show up and play. Once I heard that, this is before league play.
He streamed like 2-3 hours before the matches.
He's like, I don't need to warm up. I could just show up and play. It's like, yeah, you went 0-7, bud, and then now you're playing all these other cards and you're saying like hitbox doesn't matter. But yeah, visually the representation, you're not gonna get that precise hit that you would get on Octane that you have like what 10,000 matches on. Like it's a big deal. That's why people think Fennec and Octane are different, even though they have the same hitbox. It's just a visual representation, like the timings and everything. It's gonna look different.
Cristiano's
saying-
+2 speed.
Just saying it's the same car is like, eh. Playstyle wise, yeah, it wouldn't change much, but like your touches are the most important thing.
It's that placebo effect. That
Yeah.
level of familiarity. You just in a physics-based game, anytime you just switch that stuff up, like it just looks different, you know. And I feel the same way. Like, I mean, obviously there's differences between the different hitboxes between like Octane and Dominus. Like, I feel all my touches are super forgiving when I'm on Octane. Like, I can have a terrible touch and it just feels like it sticks to the car. But on Dominus, that thing just goes a little bit further away. So I have to be more precise. So the skill ceiling is a little bit higher, but I mean, that's why people play the Batmobile. Batmobile, when you touch the ball, the thing just goes flying.
Yep.
So I do think there is a difference. I don't think it's as big as people blow it up to be, but I don't know. When you're playing with that much on the line, I would try to remove as many issues as possible that I can.
The problem,
Go ahead.
the problem with me in my coach mindset is this is no dig to Lethemir, but like you were just saying, it ties in with consistency. If my player keeps switching cars day to day, hour to hour, then I don't think he's getting the consistent practice he needs to.
I agree.
Why is that a dig at Lethmere?
I said I don't want it to be a dig at Lethemir because, oh wait, Leth is Malice's coach. I'm thinking, I don't know why. It's just like El General.
That's,
El General.
that
not
was the
Leth.
initial. That was why I brought it up. I'm like, we're talking about Barcelona, aren't we?
Yeah, El General. Which
Like what did Les say?
I don't hear much from El General anyways, but not you, Lethemir. I was associating one team with another team.
Leth in chat digging to me. I'm not even agreeing with Flakes. Get out of here.
I don't know why. Ignore that. So El
You
General.
saw your check mark and had to attack.
Because I look at it like this: if you're meant to get like a clutch goal or something like that, you're not gonna have the finesse if you're playing 20 different cars a day and you don't know. You know what I mean? Like those hits, like Dominus, you're gonna get a power shot. It's gonna boom up to the crossbar. If you do the same thing with Octane, it can go just under the crossbar. It's the timing and everything. It means everything. You're hitting the ball.
The precision.
And yeah, like
There's a
just because
lot.
it has the same hitbox doesn't mean like you're viewing that same angle and like where like you have those like indicators I guess on your car of where you want to hit it and where you want to flip. And just because the hitbox is the same doesn't mean visually it's different on every car, you know, like where you're actually looking on the car for that particular point on the hitbox. So it's not like all cars are the same, but they're not, because you need to learn where you can see that hitbox is, you know, stuff like that. It's hard.
Yeah, you're not looking at an Octane. You're looking at a Scarab. There's a difference.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if there's
that alone is gonna tilt me. So
I'm gonna cut this off and say, talking about car hitboxes is a topic we could go into for like 30 minutes an hour on a separate broadcast. If we're talking about RO philosophy, we can do that another day this week.
That'll be the next philosophy one, yeah.
Could do that.
Hitbox.
But I'm just gonna cut that off because I know we have a small little deadline we're trying to hit.
Yep. All right, week two predictions. Barcelona endpoint. I think that's a really fun first match, actually.
Fun in what way?
You've got Barcelona that, to me, is trying to strive to be better, right? They didn't convince us enough. But you got endpoint, a team that can be competitive, but they throw away too many of the easy things. And I think Barcelona's still kind of figuring out their stuff, so you might get another close match. Maybe that'll force endpoint to be better. Or it could be the Barcelona we want to see. A dominant Devo and Flakes, you know, controlling the pace because he's got space. And I don't know. It could be really fun in one way or the other. It could either be close and competitive, or it could be Barcelona just having a field day. which is always like I love blowouts because you get to see crazy shots.
As well as to piggyback on that as well, like as long as we don't see those like uncharacteristic whiffs. I remember in like game 5, I think it was, where like Devo missed, then Ronicky missed, and then someone missed a net and they got scored on. And they got tied on. Remember that against Veloce. But yeah, the fan of me is happy to see Devo on offense, and I just want to see them dominate with him. Like just him on offense, he just is so creative, in my opinion.
So you want to see him dominate, but do you think he will dominate?
If I don't see like what I talked about, like with all the whiffing and all that, like.
I think Devo is gonna really find form as these weeks continue. I think he's still trying to figure out what he's capable of doing. Like the fact that we saw him dribble last week was so uncharacteristic to me because I haven't seen him be able to do that in so long because he's always got 2 really fast players he's played with Bluey and Alpha. He's always had someone else there that just plays super speedy. So he's now got a guy who genuinely plays a little bit more passive and takes his time on the ball, and you got Ronicky who's just a wild card who will respect his positioning. So. Yeah, I'm excited to see what Devo can do when he's got space. Like the guy does some pretty nutty stuff. Like I remember, I think it was season 5 when he hit that off the backboard hit when he landed backboard, jumped off and hit it again, and Shogun just yells in my ear, "Is he back?" And I was just like, I don't think he was ever gone, man. He just hasn't been able to showcase it. So Devo's nuts. Like I don't think we have any question about that. It's just as he gets more confident with his team, I think we can see some really exciting stuff, and we can go back to seeing why all of OCE calls every double touch a Devo. Like. I'm excited to see that. I want to see that Devo again.
All right, so what do we have for this game?
3-1 Barcelona.
I'd agree to that.
3-1 safe. Neat.
It's easy.
TSM Veloce. This could be a good game.
This could be spicy.
Veloce did happen to lose to TSM last season, so I wonder if that's like the hard counter. TSM's very defensive team. Veloce is very aggressive, but you got Metsanoris and Magnus. Those guys are, very dominant synergy-wise, and they play twos a lot, so you're going to see them dribbling a lot. And that, in my opinion, is kind of like the hard counter to Veloce because they give up so much space. Yeah. If you look back to last weekend where they played Barcelona, they gave the whole field to Barcelona, pretty much.
That's what I mean. You said that like they're aggressive, but I think they're aggressive in scrims, Veloce, but I haven't seen it. All I've seen is boomer mode from Veloce every time they're on the pitch.
I mean, they get their one drive and then they fall back. Pretty much is what I mean by that.
Yeah.
It's very conservative play, and it's in a league that makes a lot of mistakes, especially early on. It worked for them last season. I'm happy with the strides TSM's making right now, even though it's only been 1 week. I'm happy with how they played last week. Like it wasn't convincing to me, but I'm happy overall with the direction they're moving. Because the season before was just awful. So I think this will be a close match just because if Veloce knows what they're doing, they're going to recognize that last week is not the play style they want to play because it was ugly. Like it definitely felt like Chrome said they were trying something different. They're trying to slow it down a little bit, and I think that boomer play conservative, wait for mistake is what works for them because Freaky's shots have been on point for the most part. Like he sits at the top and he just puts them away. They wait for that opportunity, and whether we get that out of TSM or not, I don't know. But I want to see him challenge it. I want Veloce to say, "We will let you play your game, and we're going to punish you for it when you make mistakes," because that's what got them to land.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I think that's how Veloce wins.
Mystic too.
Who do you guys have winning?
That's tough, man. I think it goes to game 5.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
My heart says TSM.
Are we gonna put our hearts on TSM?
My heart on TSM.
Are we just? This is a bias pick. Are we all just agreeing with that?
I'm allowing one bias pick, and it's TSM.
I think this is a season where Veloce loses all the game 5s instead of wins all the game 5s.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Yeah, I'm going TSM. Okay. I just love the Metsa and Magnus this weekend.
Yeah.
Some of the goals they were getting too, like
last week, man, I was happy. Like they're playing Dig, and I was happy about what they were doing. Because in the past, when they played Dig, they didn't touch the ball because Astral's just cracked. So yeah, I'm down. TSM 3-2. I'm so down for that. That'll be a fun game. That's probably my game to watch. Ooh, okay. Wreck Mouse.
Yeah.
Wreck Mouse. Didn't see that one. Oh boy, I'm zoomed in too far.
I mean, AS Monaco Dig is going to be good. There's 3 matches I really want to watch this week. It's TSM Bullet Chase, Monaco, Dig, and then Wreck Mouse. All 3 good matches, I think.
Can we just skip the next one? 3-0.
Yeah, 3-0, 3-1.
3-0, 3-1.
Taylor's choice. Pick whichever one you want to pick.
Singularity, I don't know. They haven't shown enough. They can play to the caliber of their opponents, but they can't, like I said, they can't excel over that, and it's not enough. They could barely, keep up with TSM in promo relegation when they had Alpha, and Alpha wasn't even doing anything. It was just Mets and Norris. So I don't see them really doing anything more than that.
Yeah.
3-0, 3-1.
Maybe.
3-0.
3-0. I'm happy.
3-0.
Yep. I think Vitality could have played much worse than they did last week, and because like their worst isn't like that bad, you know what I mean? They're just they're too good of a players to not play well, and I think that's just good enough. And I think they're going to play better than last week, so I think that's good enough to 3-0 Singularity.
I still get it. I mean, they essentially 2v3'd last week, and got a win 3-1.
Yep.
Monaco Dig. I got 3-1 Dig. I think Monaco's still gonna make the same issues.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna take some time for them to work those out.
God, Monaco shows so much promise, but their defense is so bad.
Yep.
And Dig with their pass plays, I don't think Dig's gonna have space to get the pass plays off, but they're gonna be able to maintain their offense, I think.
Yep.
I'm going to really enjoy watching Monaco make progress.
Me too.
I think Dig is going to win, but I'm looking forward to the uptick from Monaco.
Monaco just make less mistakes.
Monaco week 4 moving forward. I'm looking forward to. They're probably gonna, obviously looking forward, but they've got Rec the week after, so they've got 3 really tough matches to start out, and then they get to go against Endpoint, show us what they're really worth. Hopefully, after kind of being against the grindstone, and then they play Vitality, and we get another really high profile match to prove all right, have you guys learned from your mistake? So I'm excited for. I think Monaco's schedule is fucking sick. I'm super happy for it. Sucks for them they play really tough matches right away and they're trying to figure stuff out, but
sometimes that's the best way to learn. Throw them in the waves.
He's still got half a season left, man. Still got half a season left after that.
I mean, they looked good. They looked kind of good outside the defensive errors.
Yep. Yeah, I think it'll be 3-1 Dig.
Yeah, 3-1 Dig.
CJ, you resonating?
Yeah. I can't see Monaco improving. They've got a lot to improve on. I think that what Lawler said is probably a bit more. Look to week 4 is their week. They need to be peaking and then test them again against the top teams.
Oh my god, what happened?
What did
He's
you
my
do?
5 head.
Too much ink, Jahzo.
Oh my god.
Oh my.
Oh.
You broke your pen, bro.
Oh, that's just ugly.
Use an epic pen?
I am.
I don't know. I think you just.
I use a scroll wheel. Watch. Wait.
Oi.
Scroll wheel changes the brush size.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. Do you have your hotkey set up for delete and undo?
Nope. I have my
should.
I have my bar up here. I just erase.
Just be careful because you can't undo when you have other programs open with that because it takes priority. So you try to back out of stuff and you can't.
Rec vs. Mouse. Probably match of the week, huh?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Ooh. Shit, this one's
Both haven't shown me anything really, to be honest. I thought
Rec
Rec
looked
were
better
average.
than Mouse, though.
Rec didn't look as dominant as I
Definitely.
wanted them to be.
There's that.
Mouse didn't look as solid as I wanted them to be. Which means I think this game goes to game 5. This match goes to game 5.
this is just gonna be a slog. This could be 5 OTs.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
I'm gonna make sure not to leave early on this one. That's for sure.
Rec looked better, but Mouse has
I-
potential.
Yeah, but are you gonna get potential over 1 week of practice?
You'd be surprised how much you can fit in 1 week.
I mean, from the season I had last season, I think it's possible you can change your team around in a week, but it's difficult.
I mean, you guys did start 0-2, and then you're like, watch us win. So that's fair.
I love both these teams.
God, right?
No bias in this one. We already had our one bias series.
God, this is gonna be a good series to watch, though.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully, EU's always been pretty
These
bad
are-
online for the past couple seasons.
These are the
so.
games you look back at and be like, this is why you guys got better. Like, these are the matches that you want to really watch scrims on, and do really replay analysis on.
Like, I never want to turn my back on reciprocity because they're always, they always perform online, but it's like it's Scrub and Cucks,
Right.
so it's hard.
Honestly, Rec 3-2.
So what? Okay, so let's try to correlate like matchups, right? Because it's
Okay.
gonna be close. So try to nullify. Like you look at your offense versus your other. So like Fruity and Speed, I guess possibly cancel each other out, or do you give the edge to one of those players?
I like reciprocity
Like,
offense more than I like Mouse offense. in
My
opinion.
comparisons go more general than just player to player. I'm looking
Right.
at
It's the easiest way to like try to cancel out like how I think the game's gonna play out.
well, I'm thinking Mouse counterattacks versus Rex transition defense. And I'm thinking Rex offense versus Scrubkilla on defense. Those are my two
give
like internal battles for
I
like.
give it to Rec 3-1, personally.
I think Rec are the best team at scoring a goal and then not giving up the lead, which is weird, but they're really good at it.
Rec's stat
Cool.
is like they haven't lost since winning game 1. They haven't lost since like 8 or 9 months ago or something stupid in some like regional championship, or it's like something crazy. If they win game 1, they just don't lose.
I feel like it all comes down to Mouse getting on offense. If they don't get on offense, they're a team that will sit on defense, and Rec loves teams that play just nothing but defense because Rec likes to get that sustained offense. Park the bus on the midfield.
Fruity wants
And
to get
then
those demos in early.
Fruity looks for demos. Yeah, I have Rec winning this. Unless Mouse can somehow get on offense and find their footing, Rec wins this like 3-1. Opinion.
You're taking a team that's still together. That they had one bump in the road at LAN, but other than that, they've been okay. Versus a team that's still trying to figure out what they want to accomplish. And I think you guys agree that Scrub looks more comfortable on defense, even though they want him to play offense from the looks of it. I think they want him to be the pairing with Speed up front.
That's why I think Mouse will get enough opportunities for counterattacks that they will have a few go in, giving them at least 2 games. Or at least a game. I think they're going to get 2 games off of their counterattacks.
I really like Scrub's presence in the midfield too. Like, he's such a dick to play against. He's so frustrating.
I just want to see Cucks move up more. He's always been on a team where he has 2 players that go all out, and he just parks the bus in midfield, and he just cleans up. But he doesn't need to do that this time around. He needs to be on offense a lot more.
I've heard good things though about like how they feel with Scrub and Speed up front. Like, I feel like from what I've heard, that's what they want to accomplish.
You can have certain players be first and second man on offense, but have a completely different rotation set on defense.
Yeah.
Like, you could have Speed and Scrub taking first, second man with Cooks as third man / anchor on offense, but then on transition you have Scrub go second man while Cooks here goes first man on defense for the transition. So Scrub can back up Cooks, and then that's where Scrub really will shine because of his baseline defense.
True.
And then he'll get a counterattack either up to Speed or Cooks, and that's where Cooks and Speed will be first, second man, or on counterattacks, which is, I think, where they'll have the advantage over Rec.
I'm going to have a lot of eyes on Fruity this game. His demos are going to be really
Fruity's
important.
disruptions are going to be big if he can
Speed.
connect.
Fruity and Speed for me. I have Rec 3-1. So.
God, we literally just talked about this for 5 minutes, and I still don't feel any more confident. in my pick.
I don't ever feel confident when I talk about EU.
2.5 to 2.5 ends in a draw.
Because when I think of EU, I think of like none of them really like play the game or grind that much. So it's just all the matches look pretty crap, and then they just show up on LAN.
Yeah.
Because LAN's all that matters. I just don't feel confident.
Rec
CJ?
3-2. Let's just go Rec 3-2.
Rec.
I'm happy with that.
I'll go with Rec 3-2.
All right, Rec
I'll give
3-2.
them a nod.
Jahzo, what's your prediction?
Rec 3-2. I said it like before we even got into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could see it going 3-1 though.
I could see it going 3-1. I could see Mouse pulling up a 3-2 as well. But
Yeah.
I think
I need to
the
see
in-between
Mouse's
is-
offense. That's all I need to see.
I think you see, yeah.
Easily
some
a
conditions to
highlight
meet
match though.
for that.
That is a you got to see it match. You do not want to miss that one. It's gonna be good.
Very true.
Yeah, the end of the day ends really well. Monaco Dig, and then Rec Mouse. Ooh.
Yeah, it's a good day.
TSM Veloce could be really spicy. That's just a fun schedule. You get TSM Veloce, which is hopefully a bloodbath, and then Rec just skirts by, and then you get more juiciness at the end.
Hell yeah. All
Hell
right. Do we
yeah.
need to wrap it here?
Yeah.
Right, well, final
think we
questions
can-
maybe, and then we'll.
Yeah, I think we can open to Q&A. Mushty had a really good question if he still remembers it, and then we can wrap it and plug our socials and tease next week. Mushty's already copy pasted, ready to go on the
Holy
trigger, dude.
Yeah, there you go. Well, you want to take away the reenactment
Yeah.
question?
All right, guys. Yeah, guys. I think we are. I think that kind of closes it up for the topics we want to cover. Nice and short and sweet today. But yeah, we're gonna open up the Q&A for the next probably like 5-10 minutes. We'll answer all your questions. If you guys have any, either tag me directly or like Jahzo at CJ Show,
Yeah.
because then I'll highlight and red. It makes it really easy. And if you want specific people to answer, not to answer, or what have you, don't be afraid to throw those in there as well. But we're gonna open those up. So if you guys have questions, don't be afraid to start those. But we're gonna respect Mushty's because he had the trigger finger ready. So we talked a lot about Space Station, and I personally believe that they're really, really strong. But for everybody else here, what do you guys think makes SSG look so good? They look good, but I can't quite put my finger on it, and as to why they look so good. So why do you guys think that's the case?
I want to go first, but I need to like gather my thoughts because like I've had a lot of time to look at how SSG has been playing, both in scrims and Astro, them beating us. We even warmed up with each other before Astro even started, in case both of us got out early, so we actually have some good quality games. It's really good practice against them.
Yeah. So to kind of kick it off, because I've been saying they look the best. So to me, they look like the most solid team all around. They don't make the small little mistakes that you're seeing, like uncharacteristic, like whiffs and just dumb stuff on defense. They apply a ton of pressure, like in this meta where it's super centric on being aggressive and getting a demo here and there, causing disruption, just catching people off guard. Their rotations are super clean with that, and the guys that lead the charge are doing it with the characteristic of, I'm going to do this when it makes the most sense, not just because I can. And there is some times where Arsenal's like, I'm just going to chase this motherfucker down, I don't care. And it works out, though, because he's got the support staff with Sypical and AXB. And I think AXB is now getting better as well. I think he's coming into form even more than he did last season. Like, it just feels every facet of that team is just a really good baseline. They're all really solid, but they all have that potential to get even better. And you see it from each player. Like, there's certain times where each player kind of takes their role on their own. Sypical's not popping off like crazy like he was, but you still see AXB now popping off with Arsenal. Like, they're taking turns, even though Sypical's still playing well. The other two are elevating, and they're just trading off who's doing it. But the biggest thing is, I don't really see any major mistakes. When they have space, they use it. When they have a pass, they use it. When they want to take shots, usually they hit them and they put them in their threatening. So I think on all forms, like they look really good. They look really solid.
All right, so if I wanted to put your finger right on the one thing that, besides just looking solid, makes them really good, is I think they've taken Chrome's experiences with NRG, they've looked at teams like us from Season 7, and they've adapted it into a style that relates to how the Peeps took over DreamHack Montreal in a way that covers for backline disruption in the form of bumps and demos. They have transitioned it into a way to control boost because they have great boost pathing and great boost control. Not necessarily all three players in the same way. For example, AXB I think has really great boost control, whereas Arsenal and Typical kind of emulate Justin in their boost pathing, and it's a great combination. It lets AXB act as a great anchor, and it lets Arsenal be great at actually doing the disrupting, which has become a little bit more a part of the meta recently. And it lets Typical maybe not go super flashy, but just be super solid because of his boost pathing. He's in the right spot a lot of times. And because of their overall rotation, I am confident that each of them are covering each other in case there is a mistake. Because I'm sure there's plenty of times where we see a misplay, a bad decision that's covered because they're a team that really meshes well together. They have good communication, I bet. They have ways of acknowledging how certain plays are going to break down. if a mistake happens, they have contingencies in their head. If the play goes exactly how they want, that's exactly what they want anyway. So I think everything just kind of works out with their trust, their breakdown of who's responsible for what, how they're pathing around the field. And I think the biggest thing to point out is they've taken many different forms of metas throughout the past few seasons and adapted it into their own unique form that counters so many of those metas that teams are trying to get back to or bring up in the limelight, for example, from Knights or from G2 or Energy.
I like how you like if I'm gonna just put my finger on the one thing and then you just pretty much.
Well, it's
We're
the
not
one
a
thing,
passive-
but it's all of the pieces.
Put the finger on the one thing.
The finger on the one thing is their unique play style, and I had to go in with how their unique play style actually works.
Yeah.
It's the unique thing. Their one thing is their unique play style, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I had
I
to.
think
'Cause, like, there's so much going on behind how a team works. Not a lot of people.
I just think they're a well-oiled machine. You know, like they. I don't know. It's just Super Coach Chrome. He's got them drilled in. Like I watch these like moments in games where say they've got a lot of pressure. I saw it with I was watching the Rogue series, the Rogue G2, and Rogue had a lot of pressure on G2. And Wonder, instead of just waiting for JNaps to just do something with the ball, he just like rushed a little bit, like hoping that JNaps whiffed. And all he had to do was just wait. And then like whatever JNaps did, he could have just kept it in and they could have kept pressure. But instead he rushed. And then, you know, they lost pressure. Whereas Space Station in the same spot, they know they've got pressure. They know they've got boost control. They know the other team starved. So they're not rushing. They're just making sure, all right, everyone get in a bloody line. Like they'll just be in the corner and Supercool's up front, HB's in behind, Arsenal's in behind him. They're in this line and they just keep coming in and just keep flowing in this line. They're not rushing and like someone's just going in for no reason. If you know the other guys, they know they've got low boost. They just pressure better than any team I've seen sort of in NA. I think G2's pressure is really good, their aggressiveness, but I think that Space Station's just way of pressuring is like the cleanest I've seen from any team. So I think they're just well structured and they don't panic and they don't throw the ball away and they don't try and rush to get goals. They just let it happen, and then they'll eventually score.
Chrome, you got any comments about your own team other than that smirk of you're like, yeah, we good?
I don't want to give away too much, but I definitely do think we have ways of playing certain situations, obviously, like Jahzo said. And pretty much how I base all my teams is, like I said, we talked about it in the past couple weeks, was our comms. Like, I want comms to be the fallback for why we get scored on. Miscommunication is the only thing I want as an issue. And if we don't have our comms, you know, messing up, then we could play how we want to play in certain situations. And allows us to do what we want to do.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Excited to see you guys develop more this season. It's gonna be fun.
Let's quick fire.
Yeah, we gotta crush these pretty quick. Is G2 back on season 7 form? No, I think it's an entirely different approach.
Agreed.
I'm excited.
They're better
on
than
how they
last
play now.
season.
Yeah, the
That's
offense
really
isn't
nice
as like
news.
chaotic, but like you guys have a really good structure in place. I'm excited to see how you guys build off of that. OC predictions, but only Chrome answers. XD. No.
Renegades make slam, and then Jahzo makes land. I make land, and we do the CJ show in person.
And
Let's
I'll be there on stage
go.
as coach. Yeah.
Let's
All right,
go.
CJ
Coach
show.
Lawler.
It's happening this season.
Let's go,
It's
baby.
happening.
Coach Lawler announcement tomorrow.
CJ show at land from the Sky Bar.
That'd be lit, wouldn't it?
Yes.
That'd actually be a blast. I'll bring my laptop and everything. Be sick. Who are you guys way too early rookie of the and MVP front runners?
Rookie.
Rookie
Shock rookie of the year.
extra, and either shock or. Well, it's either shock or first color, right?
Yeah.
Those are only two rookie.
Well, you have Rapid coming in. Rapid's a rookie.
Rapid sucks.
Yeah, Rapid,
shock
yeah.
or shock or extra. There you go.
I'd agree with those.
Well, that's probably rookie for each region, right? What about MVP though?
Yeah.
Yeah, early MVPs. I think Typical could do it back to back.
Early MVP's tough.
Yeah. I think Typical could do it back to back though.
I like JNaps. JNaps could be
Yeah.
front runner. Sypical, obviously. Arsenal, obviously.
I think Rizzo deserves a nod too.
Turbo
Garrett.
Turbo Garrett. Honestly, the problem is I could see an NA if league play goes how we're expecting or how we predicted. I feel like all of SSG, all of Energy, and I hate to toot G2's horn, but almost all of G2 all have potential to get MVP. If not one of the mid-tier teams showing up big and getting like a 4th or 5th seed and them clutching out MVP somehow.
Well, let me redefine it then. Who do you guys want to see as MVP? If you could have one guy that just like has that season, you're just like hell yeah. And you can even be biased towards your own teams. Maybe there's a guy who doesn't get enough credit on your team that you want to get the limelight. Like, pick one player.
Rizzo or XP. You said pick one, but
yeah, that's fine.
If I were to pick one, I'd pick Arsenal and. Ooh, that's a tough one. Arsenal and JNEPS.
What about you?
Extra.
He's a little tougher. Extra's
my only one. I loved what I saw last weekend from him.
It'd be nice if TSM ended up getting an MVP.
Yeah, I would love to see Remco win MVP.
Oh yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. I think either.
I don't either, but I would love to see that.
Out of anyone on TSM, I think Remco's the
rookie.
lowest.
MVP, I would probably think. Dude, that's tough.
Fast guys, fast.
Astral.
Either Astral or Metza Smog, one of the two on those.
CJ, any MVP hopefuls for you?
Yeah, Devo. That'd be sick. See Devo.
yeah,
back.
Devo, that's a good one.
That's a good shout. That's a good shout. You guys think that G2 can pull off the #1 spot this season? They look like the most informed team out of NA Week 1.
It'll come down to the matches between Energy, SSG, and G2 in that triangle. As long as we
It's
do
possible.
that. Unless all three of us keep up winning.
If there's anything I know about Rocket League,
#1?
it's possible, man.
It could come down to
I
three.
think it's only between G2 Space Station and NRG. I don't think I think there's no way any other team gets #1, to be honest.
All right, two major questions, because the one about Jaro having a massive wiener is definitely a no. First one, thoughts on French takeover? 7 players in RLCS, 7 players in RLRS.
Peace off.
It happened in CS:GO. It's gonna happen in Rocket League. No matter how much we're gonna like it or hate it.
Yeah, I think Fruity gets dropped for Extra or someone.
Fruity,
Olympics is
Fruity's
coming
in
up.
trouble.
It just makes the most sense. Like if you're an Olympic team, like you want to be grinding as much as possible. That's why it sucks for my team as well, because I got a Canadian on my team. So
Same here, bud.
it's either I lose my players or they find another third. So it sucks.
All right, and the last one before we close it out. Rick relies on Shawzet popping off somewhat. Do you think AS Monaco rely on Extra in the same way? If so, do you see that possibly being a problem?
I just don't think they have solid defense. Like their offense reminds me of like JNAP Chicago, like Ignite and Extra bounce off each other so well, but they just have no back line to fall back on, and they get punished for it.
I'd agree with that. I think it's definitely a
They
dual
got
effort.
3 offensive players in there.
Yeah,
I think
it's-
you consider Tigre an offensive player. I just think he just doesn't know his identity.
Well, Tigre played well last week as offense, so
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
It's not really relying on Extra because I think Extra and Ignite are both pretty solid. So
Mm-hmm.
It'll be fun to see that develop for sure. All right, guys, that is going to do us for week 4, episode 4, whatever you
I
want to
think
call
so.
it.
episode 4
Yeah,
of the year.
Episode 4 of the year of 2020 for the CJ show. You guys can obviously find us on all the socials, !social in the chat, which Vic was nice enough to beat Jahzo to.
Thanks.
He's taking your job, Jahzo. New production, man.
That's right.
But CJ show on all platforms, Twitter, YouTube, SoundCloud. We might be looking at other options for podcast places so you guys can watch after, but the easiest, just watch it on YouTube. Super easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, follow and support all that. Obviously, if you guys want to support us individually, all of our socials are next to our names, as you guys have seen on screen the whole show. Chrome RL, CJ_RL, at Jahzo and Lawler_RL. But that's going to do it for us, guys. We are out of here. We'll see you guys same time, same place next week, Tuesday nights at 10:30 Eastern for about an hour and a half. But we are out of here, guys. I will see you guys all next time. I'm sure the guys are all here next time as well, because if they're not, then this show wouldn't happen. So, peace.
Peace,
Peace.
boys.
Bye.